So the very first thing that really caught my attention today was the fact that there were actual people, like real live people, who called themselves Chiefs fans, but was calling for the resignation or firing of one Andy Reid. To which I say, I need to choose my words very carefully. Uh, how can I say this? You, those of you who are calling yourselves Chiefs fans, but were calling for the resignation and or firing of Andy Reid, are, in no uncertain terms, idiots, uh, nitwidiots, twitwidiots. You're stupid. You're ungrateful, and clearly you are Mahomes era Chiefs fakers. You're not fans. Fans don't come to other Chiefs fans and be like, aha, how about them Chiefs? That'll get you slapped. That'll get you slapped. You know, I got to hit. I'm not going to talk about my history. This is not what this part of the show is about. This part of the show is about letting you fake Chiefs fans know that we see you and we don't appreciate you, right? You are seen, you are unappreciated. It's not appreciated the level of disrespect that comes across saying that Andy Reid needs to be fired because we've had one down season in the Mahomes era. There's no way that you can have a quarterback like that and not go to the see. That's because y'all new era fans kill me. I ain't playing. Like y'all new era fans kill me. I don't understand you new era so-called fans because y'all ain't never went through nothing. You know, y'all ain't never went through nothing. See, I've been a Chiefs fan since Todd Blackledge. I know for a fact you don't know who that is. If you are a Mahomes era fan, I know good and doggone well you have no clue who Todd Blackledge is. Let me educate you. Todd Blackledge was the last, Pat Mahomes being the current. Before Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs had not drafted a first round quarterback since Todd Blackledge. He did not pan out. He did not take us to the playoffs. He did not take us to the AFC Championship, Super Bowl, didn't get us any rings, and wasn't a Chief a few years later. So you ungrateful fake Chiefs fans need to stay in your place. Know your zone, know your lane, know your place. Because we know you, we can see you. When we're winning and you want to celebrate with us and whatnot, we know you only there for the bandwagon. We just dragging you along on the bandwagon. We know this, you know. Because when they lose, oh, Patrick Mahomes ain't shit. Oh, Andy Reid needs to be fired. Oh, it's the OC, it's the DC. This is what. Oh, now I would not mind and it's not necessarily anything against Matt Nagy per se, but for real, I just want Eric Bieniemy back. That's just me. I want Eric Bieniemy back. So that's my issue with Matt Nagy. He's just not the play caller that Eric Bieniemy is. Even though Andy Reid calls a lot of the plays, most of the plays, if not, he calls a lot of the plays, right? But him and Eric Bieniemy blended. They blended really well. Coach Reid and Eric Bieniemy blended better than him and Matt Nagy, right? So that is what it is. I don't have a problem with but here's the thing, cousin. You are a real Chiefs fan. You are a real Chiefs fan. I am talking about and talking to these fake Chiefs fans. We real ones. We done real Chiefs fans have gone through the fire. That's why when the Chiefs finally began not just winning, because the Chiefs have been a winning organization. They've just done a lot of winning in the regular season. We have not had a lot of postseason success. So when we began to have postseason success, those of us Chiefs fans who remember getting Joe Montana and praying to whoever is listening that he does not get hurt, because he was our own. Listen, it's like Joe Montana was the best shot that we had, or so we thought, because he wasn't. Actually, if I'm being perfectly honest, prior to Patrick Mahomes, our best chance of winning a Super Bowl was with Rich Gannon. Rich Gannon could have realistically taken us to and won a Super Bowl. See, y'all didn't have to go through that. Y'all didn't have to go through Marty Schottenheimer taking out the guy that got us to the playoffs. That doesn't matter. Elvis Grbac was our quarterback. Elvis Grbac goes down early in the season, right? Rich Gannon steps in, takes off. Win. Man won like 7-8 games in a row, right? We get to the playoffs. Elvis Grbac is healthy again. What do? They start the guy who has not played like 3/4 of the season, right? They start him. He is getting trounced. Man, they took him out. If memory serves me correct, they took Elvis out either shortly after halftime or shortly in the third quarter or in the fourth quarter. Tossed Rich Gannon out there. It was like, all right, I know we're down. Go on out there and win us the game, Rich. And the crazy thing is, Rich started to come back. Rich Gannon was balling. He went out there and did what he could, but he couldn't overcome everything that Elvis Grbac or the whole Elvis Grbac had dug for us, right? And what happened the next year? He ends up going to the Raiders and could have won. He went to the Raiders, became MVP. He went to the Raiders, became MVP, almost got the Raiders a Super Bowl if they wouldn't have cheated for Tom Brady and the Patriots. The Raiders would have this one. This one goes out to the homie Juan. Y'all should have one, bro. Y'all should have one. They got you. Oh, was that the Tuck Rule game? I think that was a Tuck Rule game. But anyway, here's the thing. all you fake Chiefs fans, please shut up. Stop. Just stop talking. Because A, you don't know about football. Two, you ain't been through nothing. And three, if you don't see, I see. There's a guy whose name shall not be mentioned. I can't say his name out loud. It won't. It don't come out right. He who shall not be spoken of, the kicker. We're just gonna call him wide right, right? That's what we're just gonna call him wide right. That man missed so many field goals. It like it, the man missed so many field goals. It got to a point to where we just knew he was gonna make the next one because it's just not possible for you to miss another one. And what did he do? Miss another one. That man missed so many field goals and cost us that game in the playoffs. Kansas Cityans were upset. There were death threats. I ain't saying it was right. I'm not saying it's right. I'll tell you what happened. This was the 90s. Chiefs fans was unhappy with this guy and ran him out of town. Ran that man out of town. It's the kicker, he who shall remain nameless. Don't nobody want to say his name no more. If you, I can't, there's no self-respecting Chiefs fans that would have his jersey. Not one solitary single one. So but this is my take on that. Please, for the love of Venus, if you are one of those fake Chiefs fans who have called for the resignation or the firing of Andy Reid, number one, shut up. Number two, you don't know what you're talking about. Number three, you spoiled. Number four, we know you a bandwagoner, and we would ask that you please stop before you get beat up. All right, that's how we're gonna kick this off. The rest of No Towards the Opinionated, we talking about some more serious stuff, but I had to get the frivolity out the way first. And it's only frivolous in a certain sense, but you know, in relation to everything else I want to talk about, I had to get this out the way first. All right, so today it was a question. It was a point to ponder or a question. It wasn't really a question though. How did it come out? It was uh it was a did you hear, right? A did you hear? And when I hear a did you hear about something that I'm, knowledgeable about, I can rebuttal, right? So I heard, hey, did you hear that Trump got rid of Juneteenth and MLK Day as national holidays, but implemented his birthday as a national holiday? Okay, Libra brain, uh, computing, error, error, error. That don't sound right. Cause my understanding of government, the president can't do that. I don't care. I don't care what your name is. You could be Donald Trump, Donald Duck. I don't care what your name is. You can't do that as president. Trump can't do it. Obama can't do it. Biden can't do it. Reagan can't do it. Washington can't do it. None of them could do it. Why? Because it takes congressional approval to get all that stuff either passed through or abolished. You can't pass something that is to be a national holiday without congressional approval. You can't take away something that already is a national holiday without congressional approval. So I'm here. I was like, no, I don't think that's right. No, I don't. Trump. I mean, well, he done tore down the White House. He wasn't able to do that. Yeah, you didn't need congressional approval to do that though. I'm pretty sure you needed some kind of approval, but it wasn't congressional. I'm I'm pretty sure he was supposed to check with somebody before he did that, but I mean that just is what it is too. But you did not need congressional approval to change some stuff in the White House. By the time he had already ordered and did it, you know what I'm saying? Like it's one thing to tear some stuff down because once you do it, it's like, I I'm gonna do what I want to do. I apologize for it later if it's something that I can get off. And destruction is something he can get off, so you can tear this down. What is Congress going to do about it? It's a building. They can't do anything. But we're talking about uh, changing national holidays, changing federal holidays. Yeah, you can't do that without congressional approval. So what ended up being the case, because they said it's seen it on TV, and I'm like, nah, you had to have heard that wrong. So I looked it up, and come to find out what it is, Trump, he is trying to make his birthday some sort of pseudo national holiday, but what was that? A couple of years ago, it was I don't remember whether it was a Black Lives Matter protest, but it was, matter of fact, I think it was a matter of fact, it was that first No Kings, uh, that first No Kings protest that happened on his birthday, right? And he wanted to have some uh Mao Zedong, some Kim Jong Un esque uh parade to celebrate his birthday and have the military come out and all. He was supposed to have millions upon millions of people in. Man, nobody showed up for that. Nobody showed up. You know where everybody was at? The No King's Day parades across the nation. Millions upon millions of people at the No King's Day parades. You know where they wasn't? At his birthday parade. It was it was so many patches. It was so many patches of people. It was crazy. You know what I'm saying? They was going. They was the news was going side by side. They was putting the No King's Day parades, which was packed, side by side with his birthday parade, which was patchy at best. Trump was hot, but that's all he's trying to do. He's trying to. Well, he didn't try to do it. He's made his birthday a pseudo national holiday by doing this. He has allowed people to go into national parks on his birthday for free. That's what the whole thing is. It's going into national parks. He can't turn his birthday into a national holiday. He just doesn't have that kind of power. He can't take away Juneteenth or MLK Day from being federal national holidays. He doesn't have that kind of power either, right? What he can do is have you pay to go into national parks during Juneteenth or during MLK Day, whereas in prior years, those days were free. If you went to a national park on MLK Day or on Juneteenth, you got in for free. Now, Trump has mandated that you pay if you go in on those days, but if you go in on his birthday, it's free. Why those 2 days? Why why can you still go into a national park on Columbus Day for free? But you chose the only 2 holidays on the national calendar that celebrate Black people. Why is that? I'm awake because you know, maybe sooner or later it'll make sense. Well, at the same time, for real, it makes perfect sense. His secondary racism, which is only outmatched by his, classism, right? Because again, let's recall, it takes power to be racist. He has power, right? But he shows his classism first versus his racism. But his racism is clear and ever present. And and this is the thing that I really can't that I've never been able to get around in regards to Trump, right? I can't get around this part. Why is it that you MAGA maggots always want to come out when he's president? Like, is it just me? Or does it seem like the times that Trump has been president have been the times that racial tensions tend to escalate? And then the times that he hasn't been, the years that he wasn't president, racial tensions seem to de-escalate. And I don't even know if it's an escalation or a de-escalation. I actually personally believe that Trump emblazons the racists to come out, because it's like, well, if our fearless leader can be racist out in the open, then by golly, show can I. I'm gonna put on my skeleton mask and I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna get in someone's face. I'm gonna put on my red mega hat and my football jersey, and I'm gonna get in a black woman's face. Notice I said black woman. And that's a real story. Like, that really happened. It was a dude, it was a white dude in a MAGA hat, and it looked like a Texans jersey, which makes sense. But he gets in the face of this black woman, and the lady is just standing there. I'm talking about he's going, do something, hit me, and she's just standing there looking at him like he's crazy. Yeah, that couldn't have been me. That that couldn't have been me. Like, he'd have been sleepy before the exhale. Cause with all that bravado that came out of his chest, he had to take a deep breath. He'd have been like, he ain't doing that to no black man. Not at all. You know. And you chose the most demure woman to get in her face. Makes sense. Makes sense. That, hold up. It's a word for that. Damn it. It was the answer on Final Jeopardy. Oh yeah, coward. Coward. That's what it was. That's the word I was looking for. Coward. That's it. Low life. So that's the thing. You know, Trump tends to emblazon all of these MAGA maggots to come out out of the woodwork, but they're very particular about who they choose to encounter. Understandable. Uh, so let me transition because that leads me to Bill Maher, right? Bill Maher, if you don't know, has been for quite some time a he's a news analyst, you know what I'm saying? But he wasn't on, like, he had his own shows, the Bill Maher show. He has a Bill Maher show again. But you know, he was canceled for a little while due to some uh comments that he made. Um and it's not even that I completely dislike Bill Maher. Uh but I need to question his thinking on this particular thing. And it's not anything that is uh like a him thing. It is, however, a uh Eurocentric way of thinking thing. And when I say Eurocentric way of thinking, I don't mean white people, because there are people whose shade of color is mine and or darker than mine that have a Eurocentric mindset, right? Uh you can be black on the outside and completely Eurocentric on the inside and rock with everything MAGA does. You like, if you had the power, you would be a racist, you know. So that's what that is. But Bill Maher was saying, he was quoting something that, you know, it's a lot of people that quote, talking about how black people are always talking about slavery and how terrible the black experience was during slavery and this and that and none, so, which is accurate. His point was, black people didn't go through anything worse than anyone else who was in slavery. Black people aren't the only ones who were in slavery, which is also true. Black people are not the first or the last people to go into slavery. I had to think about that for a second. Like, as a people, you know, but I'm thinking about people who have gotten kidnapped. They are in slavery right now, you know. Children are in slavery right now. You have certain like multiple, you know, diversities of ethnicities, races, cultures, and creeds have been taken away from their people and are in slavery right now, right? So that's why I had to pause for a second. I didn't freeze. I was really thinking. Uh, but black people were not the first and will not be the last people to be enslaved, right? However, all slavery did not equate the same, right? Well, there were slaves in Africa. Incorrect. That, sir, is incorrect. There were no slaves in Africa. Not a solitary single one. That is incorrect. In Africa, as is the case in a vast amount of other things considered slavery, was not slavery. It may be thought of and considered slavery to us right now, right? But it wasn't slavery per se, especially the chattel slavery that was going on in the United States. That is an American thing. What happened around the world, what's been happening since the dawn of time, when I have this little piece of land and you have this little piece of land, and someone else has that little piece of land, and somebody else has this little piece of land, And people decide, you know what? I think I want to expand. And I take my band, I go over here, I conquer this land. Guess what happens to your people? They become prisoners of war and are enslaved. But you are prisoners of war. It wasn't the same as chattel slavery, right? You weren't put in chains. You weren't done. No. You have become part of us now. You're part of us. We've taken you over. We're about to inseminate your bloodline. That's what's going to happen, right? You're not property. You're able to roam around, have jobs, work, do the whole hook, right? You're not going to get necessarily paid the same way, right? There are certain diminishments of being a prisoner of war, right? And that's the fact of those of you that stuck around and weren't killed. Because the first thing we're gonna do is kill all the men. All y'all gotta go, right? So that's what's gonna happen when you are a prisoner of war. All that was left with the women and children, right? In chattel slavery in the United States, we weren't even people. The slaves that were brought over here weren't even considered people. Three-fifths of a person is what the Africans who were brought over here were considered. Three-fifths. So after slavery, there were black codes and Jim Crow laws and all these different things that diminished what you look like. If you look a certain way, you got treated a certain way. And then came civil rights, and civil rights was supposed to do this, and yet and still, white women benefit more from the civil rights movement than black people. And now you got DEI. Take a wild stab in the dark. What gender and race of people benefit from DEI since its implementation? If you guessed white women, you were correct. So, so into this, slavery wasn't always slavery. What you see on TV, that happened back in early Roman times, well, there ain't no filmmaker that's here that knows that. There's no. Where's the records of all that going like that? You know what I'm saying? So I'm not talking about the chain bondage. That probably happened, but there was not the same kind of mistreatment as what Africans suffered at the hands of Americans. And we're going through similar things to this day, right? The laws that's being passed, the things that are being heralded our way, right? The things that this administration is trying to take away from black and brown people. All of these are inherently American. And if you believe what they taught you in school, that all men in this country are created equal, you need to look up the 3/5 clause, right? Because not all men were created equal. This was to be a nation by white people and for white people. Blacks and all other non-white people were to be the burden bearers of the true citizens of this nation. Damn, I think I got it all the way right. I think I think that was a direct quote. I think I got it all the way right. That was a quote. You know, America wasn't built originally. Okay, let me take that back. The United States of America was not meant for nothing but white people. And that is a fact based off of the Constitution. How many of them were slave owners? And that was part of Bill Maher's point, is that everybody brings up the whole, well, uh, it's it's presentism and this and that and none. So okay, that's a new word for some of y'all. Presentism means applying the mentality of the present to the past. The the victimization or the crimes that we feel today and attributing them to the past. An example would be something like being being upset with the 8-year old you for not knowing what you know now, right? So if you're 30, you understand calculus. That's like being upset with the 8-year old. It's like, how you don't know calculus? 8-year old me? Stupid. Like, you don't know calculus? So it's like uh how we vilify Thomas Jefferson and George Washington and all these so-called founding fathers for being slave owners when, as Bill Maher said, everybody owned slaves. That's just what you did. If you had money, you owned slaves. You could be black and own. There was black people that owned black slaves. Also true. But you can't say everybody with money got a slave. That wasn't true. There was a bunch of black people that had money. Did not own a slave. There was also a difference between a slave, because that's the first thing a lot of white folks are gonna say. There was white people that were slaves too. No, it wasn't. You were indentured servants. There's a difference. Indentured servitude and slavery, different things. They might look the same, but they're not. Indentured servantry and slavery was like NIGHT and KNIGHT. They might look the same. They might sound the same, but they mean two totally different things. Slavery, you had no rights. You could be a slave your entire life, right? You really got no wages. We're going to keep you fed enough to be able to work and die. That's it. Indentured servitude, A, had a time frame. Usually that time frame was around 7 years, right? The time of Jubilee, right? So after 7 years, you could renegotiate your contract. If you would like to stay on for another 7 years, we can do that, right? It was a contract that the servant agreed to, right? Because they're getting paid. If you agree to another 7-year deal, you can hang around for another 7 years and be a servant for me for another 7 years. Or you can go about your merry little way. And I'm going to get another indentured servant to take your place. Slavery and indentured servitude is different. All right. What's next? Fake Chiefs fans still don't understand about Columbus Day. Just keep it in the book. Like I still don't get that. I still don't get that. Right. And that is yet another thing that you were taught in school that was just not correct. And no one cares to correct it. Why? Because the Italians might get upset. So Cristobal Columbus is y'all champion? Y'all can do better than that, Italians. Like, uh, y'all got Rocky Balboa. Like y'all got y'all got Sylvester Stallone. I choose Stallone over Columbus. You know, have you seen the movie Stallone put out? Man, that dude is good. You know, like Rocky, the franchise. You don't want him as your first. You want Columbus. He didn't get here. He didn't get past Haiti. Like you want somebody that didn't even know how to navigate as your spokesperson? Like he didn't even know where he was. He was supposed to be this great navigator. Didn't even know where he was. Never set foot on this place right here. Like never set foot. Don't know what it looked like. And wasn't the first one to set foot where he set foot. His boat was last. And here's another thing. Before they left, they made a bet between what was the name of the ships? The Pinta, the Nina, and the Santa Maria. The captains of all three of those ships made a bet as to who was going to hit land first. Columbus made a bet with the other two boats, right? That, this amount or whatever is going to go to the ship that reaches land first. Everybody agreed. I want to say it was the Nina that reached land first. It was a smaller ship, right? So it was the fastest, right? The Nina reached first, I believe. I have to double check that. But if memory serves me correct, it was the Nina that landed where they were first. It was not Columbus. Columbus did not pay. So not only is he a liar, he's a cheat. And this is who y'all want as y'all spokesperson? Italians? Come on, man. Y'all can do better than that. Just do better, man. Do better. All right. Okay, I think I'm about done. Oh man, hold on. Shout out to Godfrey. Hey man, if you have not checked out, Godfrey's I don't care what it is, his stand-up is funny as hell. So let's just start right there. Godfrey's just funny. But he's got a channel. I don't remember whether it's on Instagram or TikTok, but it's he starts all of his little videos off with back at racism headquarters, and then it goes into this old Batman that whole thing, right? It's hilarious. And actually, now that I think about it, that's where I saw the clip of was that nah, I think that was my homeboy Baby J. I think I was Baby J that showed me that, or that sent that to me. But Godfrey did have one of this white dude who was harassing this black man for SWB, right? Standing while black. And he goes to him and he's like, "What are you doing standing here?" "None of your damn business what I'm doing standing here. Mind your business. Beat it." You know? And so he's like, "Oh, I'm calling the police." He's like, "Call him." He's call him. Do your thing. He gets on the phone and he's calling the police. His son, who's all of like 7 years old, he's like, "Dad, I don't like this. This doesn't feel right. Why don't you just leave him alone?" The father's like, "Shut up, kid. I haven't taught you this racism yet. Stay in your place. I'll teach you this soon enough. You haven't caught on to the ways of the white world yet, you know." And so but the little boy, he gets to crying. He's like, "But daddy, this doesn't feel right." Shout out to that kid. Shout out to that kid for being more mature than your father. And I'm hoping that the poison that's in your household never corrupts you. I mean that sincerely. Uh, but you know, shortly thereafter, the guy that he was waiting on, who was in a wheelchair, uh, pulls up and is like, "What are you doing? Why are you harassing my friend? He's waiting on me. Beat it." So there that is. But shout out to Godfrey. And if you happen to check out his page, this funny as hell. So uh and at the same time, like he said on the show, his beef is not with white people. Common misconception. When black men, black people, black women get to talking about issues that have to do with the culture, right? Because black is not a race. Let's pinpoint that. Black is not a race. We made it up. And by we, I don't mean like we in this, we're not dealing with prejudice. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, but it's like it's been said, it's a social construct, you know, because there's no race of black people. Black is a culture, which is why you see so many different cultures acting black. When you see a white boy sagging, what's the first thing you liable to say? He trying to act black. And I'm hearing like it is painful to my ears to hear all these white boys talking about the N word, right? And I'm like, when did, and I ain't talking about with ER, I'm talking about with the A. I'm like, when did this become a thing? When when did this become a thing? I don't get it. And I never will. But like he said, our problem is not with white people. Our problem was with racists. And it was a comedian. It was a comedian that said, "Shout out to all the white people that know when black people are talking about racists, that we're not talking about you." Shout out to you, white people, that know the difference between who we're talking about and who we're not talking about. But to the white people that believe that we're talking about you, we are. You are exactly who we're talking about. Because the white people that know we're not talking about them, know we're not talking about them. But you white people that's like, "Oh, he's talking about me." You are absolutely freaking correct. I am. We are. So, uh, what do I got going on in the world? I am in pre-production for a variety of different short films. These short films will span, there are four. I kept telling people 10. When I wrote it all down, I got 14 short films. I am not in pre-production for all of those. I am in pre-production for about 10 of them. I'm actually in production for one, pre-production, casting, stopped production, recasting, rewrite script, paused, not yet in production, pre-production, paused. So yeah, it's like 14 of them. Uh, and a lot of them are in pre-production, production of one. Right, we started shooting that last week. It's been dope. I'm ready to get this to a film festival near and probably far away from you. That's what I got going on. Uh, on let me see, on December, I want to say December 19th. Uh, uh, Clear Tomorrow has an event going on at I'm not kidding, 2345, I want to say Maine. Don't go look at Johnny L. Waller's page and you'll see all the events for Clear Tomorrow. But it's an event going on next Thursday. I believe it's on Maine. 2345. 2345 Maine, I believe. Double check that. But go check that out. Clear Tomorrow's a fantastic program. I'm on board. And so, we're gonna try and get some things done like that. Other than that, I am entirely too busy just doing those things. So I appreciate everybody that tuned in tonight. If you've been rocking with the kid for the last 4 some odd years, 5 years, however long I've been doing this show, since 25, I started doing this around 20. I think I started doing this show in like 2021. So I've been doing this show for about 4 years, at least 4 years. So if you've been rocking with me, appreciate you. Thank you. Welcome back. This is your first time tuning in to Notoriously Opinionated. Welcome. I talk about a lot of subjects. I am probably about to start getting back on relationship topics come the new year. I just don't want to talk about them by myself. So I'm going to start inviting guests again, right? So if you've been enjoying the content, continue to tune in. Like, share, and subscribe to all my channels. Push all the buttons like they be saying. Scrap the Film Guru on all social media platforms. And I appreciate you once again. Tune in next week, 8 p.m., same notorious time, same notorious station. And until then, read my shirt. Every day in my life, I'm forced to add another name to the list of people that piss me off. Peace. I'm out.